very, very well, and I have to say your description of the workers' paradise in Russia, I don't think is particularly accurate. Just anecdotal, I remember going to Bulgaria during the Cold War. I don't remember hordes of Russian workers living it up on the Black Sea coast.
They were in the Russian, on the Russian
okay, well, let's not sound like that. But more fundamentally, when you talk about the fact that Russia was investing in the military, we have to be absolutely clear. What were they trying to do? Were they trying to spread socialism? Or were they actually behaving like any imperialist power does in order to spread their interest globally? One of the criteria for what makes a modern capitalist state is precisely that it channels surplus value into arms production to build up a military base in order to compete with rival capitalist powers. When we talk about the period from 1928 onwards, we're talking about a world shaped by a variety of state capitalisms, from the more extreme versions in Russia and later in Eastern Europe, through to the much more liberal and free market versions in America, Britain and elsewhere, locked into competition on a global scale. And it's this process of military competition and competition on a world scale that enforces the drive to accumulate. What you have in Russia is a system in which value was transferred from consumption to accumulation, to building up heavy industry, to building up an arms base, and to building up the capacity of the Russian economy to compete on a global scale. And by that criteria, absolutely, we can call it capitalist. It was a different variant of capitalism, but it was a capitalist society because you have the criteria of exploitation and tyranny inside the workforce. Driving through this process of exploitation, you have the process of anarchy in the marketplace, not within Russia itself, but on a global scale, when you look at it as a global system of a series of state capitalist powers locked into competition. And by that criteria, I think we have to say that Peter's insight is absolutely valid and still very, very relevant today.